Steven and Larry, and we're talking Swish.
Welcome everyone to another edition of Talking Swish. Larry here along with Steven and our man Duy. Today we have a special guest. He is a very aggressive player over at the Star City Tour. It's been quite some time since he's gotten the Turn 2 Infect, or burn people's faces up. But we have John Whetstone on with us today. John, how are we doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just a long day after working at the shop.
I know you just opened up yourself your own shop. You're no longer working for a shop owner. You are the shop owner. Has it been exciting?
It's been very stressful. Very, very stressful. But other than that, it's everything I was doing. Just a little bit more stress.
Yeah, it's a little bit different from working for a shop and then the stress that gets added from actually owning it. But I see your posts, you be having a bunch of different games going on. I think, what was it, Pokemon or something like that?
Yeah, so we have Pokemon on Thursdays, and that's what we were doing tonight. Nothing too competitive. It's mainly just, I like these Pokemon, I want to learn how to play with them. So that's where we're at with those. But it makes it a little bit more fun, because you get to see all the cool Pokemon that normally is not played in competitive.
No, for sure. That's awesome. I'm just glad that you got a nice little player base going on. A couple nights ago when we were originally going to do this, it got a little bit too late because you were dealing with the EDH crowd.
Yeah. Those games go long, as you can imagine, and it's never fun to go up and be like, "Hey, you guys have to stop. I know you're 2 hours into this, and you want to know who wins."
But you don't have to go home, but you ain't staying here anymore.
Exactly. I should just start playing closing time, 9 o'clock every night.
Yeah. Now, how often do you leave right when the store is scheduled to close?
Never.
Never?
Every time I go, I can probably close half an hour early and start cleaning and get home at a decent time, I get flooded with people, and then I'm not gone till 11 p.m. For reference, we close at 9.
Mm-hmm. And are you you're on the same time zone as us, right? It's all Eastern time zone?
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't know if you're in the part of Indiana that might be a little bit different, but it makes sense since our times are linking up.
That part of Indiana doesn't exist.
It doesn't?
No, we just ignore it.
Oh, we just ignore it. Okay.
I still find it weird that there's a section of Indiana that's we're just in a different time zone. I hope that's cool.
Yeah,
it's if you look at a map, it's just a little bit.
Yeah, it was like that when we were on the way down to Lafayette. I was like, oh, we've changed time zones. And then we popped up to Lafayette and it was like, JK. I was like, oh, okay. That's why I was a little paranoid because I was looking and I was like, oh, we're in a different time zone. Do I need to reschedule what time I need to be up tomorrow? Because I had my alarm set and stuff already because I thought I would forget. And then we get to Lafayette, I'm like, oh, alrighty then. Here we are.
Yeah. No, it's right on the edge. I can probably drive 40 minutes and be in a new time zone.
Yeah, that's so wild. You're like, man, I'm running late. All right, I'm going to head over and I'll be back on time. It's cool. We're good to go. Because that's how it works, right?
Yeah, exactly. Time travel.
Ooh, that is time travel. I need to find where the line is so I can just start jumping back and forth.
I couldn't imagine living just right on the line, where if you go 5 minutes one way, you're in another time zone.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Scheduling would be annoying. Be like, man, my doctor's in the other time zone.
Yeah, how wild would it be if you if you were working in the other time zone?
Bro, I'm gonna be late to work all the time.
Dude, that'd be so confusing.
I'd be so annoyed.
So a while ago, I used to manage a paintball field, and we were literally 15 minutes from the time zone difference. So customers would schedule, and we would always forget to ask what time zone they're coming from. So we had people that were constantly late, early, whatever, because they just none of us communicate what time zone.
Right. No, that's like I said, that's pretty funny. Time zones can be a little confusing. I know I had to get used to it when I originally moved to Chicago because I was always used to the Eastern time zone and they're on Central. So it would like mess me up, especially when I'd be like, "Hey, I'll be there in Lansing to come back. Meet me there. The train's only gonna take 4 hours flat." And of course, I'd be like, "Just meet me there in 4 hours." Messes with people so much, like, and because they just look at the time and they're like, "Okay," they don't like do it like, "Okay, I could do 4 hours," and I'd be like, "Oh my god." Because I'd be like, all right, it's 10 now. Meet me there in 4 hours, which would be like, what, 3 or whatever? No, not 3, but 2. I'd be like, all right, meet me there at 2 o'clock. And then I'd get there at 2 o'clock, and I was like, where the hell is everybody?
Funny, man.
But yeah, John, it was, like I said, we've had you on before. I forget, did we talk about taxes last time we had you on? We've had so many conversations between now and then.
I think we talked. You guys tried getting me to talk about Burn, but then they spoiled Thraven Inspector and Flicker Wisp when we talked more about that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was pretty funny. Yeah, they did spoil those, and we're like, yeah, Burn's whatever. Let's talk about this. Actually,
let's talk about Death and Tax.
Yeah, Death and Taxes is life, bro. I know when I first started to first know you is when obviously we mentioned last time me, you, and James teamed for that one of the last SCG events before the pandemic. It was the last team one at least. It was in Richmond, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember we teamed there. We went and did all right. It was a good time nonetheless. James didn't do all right, but that's okay.
It happens.
It does. It happens to him more often. For the listeners that didn't catch the last episode, Steven, how did you and John meet?
We met. I think we just did. We meet through SCG events? I'm pretty sure that's how we met, if I remember properly.
Yeah, I imagine it was Hefner or maybe Dalloway that introduced us.
Yeah, it was almost certainly Dalloway. Yeah. That would make sense.
I don't remember the exact point we met.
Yeah, I don't either, actually.
It just feels like, I've been going to SCGs for a while, and I know you.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we kind of just started communicating at some point.
That's just kind of how it goes, though, with the grinding community. It's just like you're around enough, and eventually it's just like, oh, okay, you can sit with us while we eat. That's cool. We know each other. We don't really, but we know each other. We see each other every weekend.
No, that's awesome. And then, Dewey, make sure I'm correct. You first met John at the last event that we did at the store he was working at when I introduced you guys, correct? Or did you know him before?
Yeah. No, I mean, I knew of John, but, not officially met him at all, so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I knew of you because I'd seen you on a best of SCG against Donegan where you hit runners and killed him.
Yeah, yep.
That was a good match.
It was very enjoyable.
Tell us a little bit about that match. I don't know that matchup offhand.
What? It's so good.
What?
Really? No, I don't watch a lot. Usually when I'm at events, I don't get to see any of the matches.
Oh, this was in Hogak summer, and it was I think Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And we both just had a game where he murdered me, and then I murdered him, and then we're in game 3, and he has the most insane turn 2 or something, and he has 20 some power on the board. And I'm basically just dead. But I need to rip runner, and one of the first things I have to do is start with angering the board to leave him with just Hogak, and then he hits me really hard, and then I had to draw I had to draw exactly anger, and then exactly with the land in hand, and then exactly a pact or a Titan in order to through the breach it and then kill him. And it's a huge feels bad for him because he should have won, because there was another way he could have sequenced his turn to have a carrion feeder in play, if I remember correctly, and then he was just like not dead at all. But the hype of slamming your entire hand and graveyard onto the battlefield, I don't think anybody would, should really judge him for that. But a couple of his teammates, I guess, came out. I was like, hey, you should have done this. But it was runner, had to have the perfect cards in the perfect row in order to get a Titan to 20 him and kill him. So
That is beautiful.
But yeah, I did make the highlight for the SCG for that summer. Yeah. So
That's awesome. Yeah. To be fair, I don't get to see you win too much, so that's probably why I missed it.
after I just won a bunch of events, it's never good enough for you.
No, those ones don't count because they're in the Midwest. You have to do something in like Texas for it to
Oh my
count.
god.
I like top 64 in Texas.
But that's not top 32.
Do we get to like start ranking states of where it counts? Like Utah doesn't count at all, but like
Utah
Hawaii,
doesn't count.
Hawaii slightly
California
better than
doesn't
Montana.
count.
Wait, can we like rank like Alaska and Hawaii really high because there's like never events there,
Yes.
and then that way
Yeah,
just have a
I
reason to go there?
Alaska's number one, obviously.
Oh yeah, the hardest place.
Yep. Ohio never counts because it sucks. Iowa's like number two. If you do well in Iowa, you're just a god.
With all the traveling I've done, I think I somehow have avoided Iowa.
Bro, that
What?
drive is horrendous.
It was not great.
Oh, it's so
There's a lot of
boring.
horrendous match drives.
Oh.
Yo, no drive's ever boring when you stay up the whole time and you're the only driver and you're just on like 6 energy drinks. No drive's boring.
A couple weeks ago, we went to the Secret GP, and I did the drive to New York / New Jersey and back myself. Steven said, I'm not driving, suck it up. And I was like, all right.
I'm literally gonna make you do the same thing for all of our trips. And it's like, I'm not driving. I gotta work so I can go to these events.
You really are, too.
There's time, like, I traveled with Caleb a lot, and him and I would split the driving. But then there was a lot of drives where I was the only one with a license, so I had no choice.
Yeah. Are you talking about Caleb, the Storm Master?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to get to see him again.
Oh, is he going to be there?
I don't know, like, him and I are just friends, so, like, I just can't wait to see him again. I haven't got to see him, like, all pandemic.
Yeah, no, I thought maybe when you were saying that, you're implying he's going to be at your event that we're going to be talking about in a moment.
That I don't know.
Okay. I was just curious. I remember watching Caleb. I actually learned a lot from him when I was playing Storm. I used to watch a ton of his videos. I've never actually formally met him. I've interacted mildly with his like buddy that does Storm too. What's his name?
Paul?
Yeah. Yep. Paul. Yep. I've interacted mildly with him because I think I've gotten crushed by him once. And
that sounds about right.
Yeah. And while he's crushing me, and I'm looking, and I know everything he's gonna do, and he's doing everything I know he's gonna do, and I'm like, yeah, I wonder what concession food I'm gonna go grab. like a corn dog sounds nice.
My favorite part is playing against those two when I play an Eidolon and they're just like, yeah, you're dead anyways. And I have to sit there and watch them actually explain the math to me while they kill me. And it's just like, okay, well, I did everything I could, Like, I played the Eidolon on turn 2. This was cool.
No, for sure. Yeah, Eidolon and Prey. Prey, they don't have an answer for it. That's about all you can do.
The amount of times those two have killed me through the Eidolon, just left it on the board.
That's what we call a flex.
Especially in Legacy.
Oh, yeah. Well, stop playing Legacy Burn is your first step to success.
Yo, I own Thalia's and Rashadan boards and stuff now, okay? I no longer have to play Flame Rift.
You're like, I no longer have to play these mediocre decks. I have I have advanced to the top tier of mediocre.
I
Well, that ain't
I own
mediocre,
Aether
but
Vials. I own Aether Vials.
that
Not
helps.
Lore of Atlantis. But
Ooh, come on, let's pull out our inner Jason and play some fishies.
No.
yeah, I cashed my first invitational with Merfolk, and I have no idea how. Like, that deck is just terrible.
Yeah. You know,
Sometimes
sometimes
you
it
just
happens.
find the right path.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we have the pairing lottery in these formats. If we could get lucky with the pairing lottery, you could do some winning.
Yeah.
It was when Dredge was huge, like when it first came out, and it still had Bridge from Below, and they played Greater Gargadon and stuff.
Yeah.
I just played 8 main deck spreading Seas effects and just never let them have green.
Yep.
So, like, my matchup was good for that reason alone, but I couldn't beat Infect.
Yep.
And that was, like, the second best deck, so I don't know why I chose Merfolk. I should have just played one of those 2 decks.
I've heard this Drudge deck is pretty cool. I don't know too much about it. Seems very interesting, though. I need to try it out sometime. But yeah, John, let's talk a little bit about your introduction to Magic. How long have you been playing?
Since Born of the God. A little bit before Born of the Gods.
Okay.
I stumbled into a shop during pre-release for that set after having played for like a week, and then ended up playing pre-release. And then I didn't miss an FNM from there.
Okay, so you came in at Born of the Gods. You came in when I left. 'Cause
Okay.
Born of the Gods made me leave, actually, because I was so disappointed with the direction. So you came in Born of the Gods, and then Born of the Gods was before or after Journey and Nyx. I want to say it was before.
It was right before. It was
yeah.
the middle, so.
Okay. Ben, because I know I came back at Dragons of Tarkir, so not too long afterwards, but still a good low time. So you came with Born of the Gods. What was your favorite deck when you first came in?
Well, I couldn't afford good cards.
Okay.
So my FNM deck that I started with was a brew my best friend and I made, where we played Charging Badgers and Biomass Mutation.
I don't remember what neither of those do.
Okay, well, Charging Badger's a 1/1 with Trample for 1. And then Biomass Mutation is green-blue hybrid X. Your creatures become XX creatures. And it's an instant.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a bunch of mana dorks, Charging Badgers. There's a 2-mana card that had Trample, that with terrible stats. And the whole goal was just do the thing. And it never worked.
And it never worked.
So
Love it.
everyone was playing Mono Black Devotion at our store. There were like 30 people, maybe like 3, including my best friend and I, were not playing that deck. There was a couple nice people who would like not cast the Thoughtseize and take the Biomass Mutation from us and let us do our thing one game and then crush us the other 2. But then, after getting enough random booster packs combined, we had enough to make one good deck, and we shared that for a while until we got enough stuff to make 2 good decks, and then rotation happened.
Yep.
And then we had no good decks.
At least you guys like struggle through it together, though. You can't beat that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was just funny.
And now we own a store together.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. I didn't know that's your business partner.
Yeah.
That's
That's
sick.
very cool.
So you played some decks, rotation happened and broke all the hearts.
Yep.
When did you decide to start getting into it more competitively, more seriously, whatever you want to call it?
Oh gosh, that's hard. It's been so long. A few years after we started going to IQs, right? Because those were easily accessible, and it was when they used to have them every weekend. So our normal thing was we hit like 3 or 4 FNM events a week in various towns, and we'd go play an IQ a weekend. Then there was one IQ in particular where, so I'm not proud of this, my roommate convinced me to play. And I show up, I spend the only money I have for food for that week on entry. And then I realize I don't have a deck.
Oh
but I've
boy.
already given them my money. I was like, oh yeah, I drove an hour. I don't own a deck. I just spent my food money. So someone was like, well, I have this dredge deck. I have no idea how it works. It was the first weekend it won, like some classic, when it had Bridge from Below Greg Argadon.
Mm-hmm.
It was the following weekend, was at IQ. So I was like, okay, I'll play this. I find myself in top 8 because the deck was busted. Just absolutely absurd. And I'm trying real hard to get everyone to split because before all of top 8 got cash, it used to be just like cash and packs. Because like I can't eat that week if they don't split cash, right?
Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
I'm sitting there like I have no idea how this deck functions. I've luck sacked my way through 7 rounds. Like I just want to get food money.
Right.
My opponent is just like hard no splits. He's the only guy in top 8 that's hard no splits. So the dredge gods were nice to me. Flopped like 12 power into play on my first go, and I kill him. And he's like, he's upset because obviously I'm just like hee-hawing my way through the tournament. And I get into top 4. My top 4 opponent's like, yeah, man, I don't think I can ever beat that deck in a million years. I'm just going to go to the bar. You want to split cash? And my best friend and Hefner are the other 2 people in top 4. And Hefner and my best friend are like, yeah, let's split. Hefner concedes to my best friend because he's already queued for the Envy. And Colton's like, where's it at? And the TO's like, Atlanta. So he just conceded to me because he didn't want to drive to Atlanta. So then we rolled that IQ into that invitational, which was like 2 weeks after, where I spent all of my bill money to go to Atlanta. And then I was like, oh, wait, I have to cash this invitational to be able to afford my electric bill this month.
Oh
Oh
man.
my god.
Jeez.
And so, of course, being the bright young individual I was already making good choices, I played Merfolk.
Oh boy.
Which it was fine. I cashed. But that's what started it. But I was much more responsible afterwards.
I hope so.
Much
You wild, bro.
This is like some of the crazy stuff. Yeah, if I don't win, if I don't make money, just not eating this week. So that's good
Like-
motivation.
I'm sure I could have like went to my grandparents and been like, "Hey guys, can I eat dinner with you?" Like, I don't have any money. They would have fed me, right? Like good grandparents. But like, no adult wants to do that. Yeah, I was 18, so I was barely an adult. But like, no adult wants to do that.
Jesus.
So instead, I just didn't lose that much. I lost some, but not enough to not get
It's good.
money.
It's good motivation. You can't beat that kind of motivation.
Exactly.
You. Oh man, you wild. You're something else.
But anymore, much more responsible.
You moved up at least. So
Yeah, like I have cats to take care of now. I can't be risking the food money.
you can't be risking the food money. That's awesome. So you cashed the invitation. So when you cashed the invitation, was that what gave you the taste, gave you your first fix to want to grind the Star City circuit?
Yeah, I was just like, wow, I can actually cash these events. I always thought this was unobtainable. So then I like focused on getting more hours at work, and then was not being as irresponsible with my money. So I was able to afford to go to one open every few weeks. And then I spiked the hidden open at another invitational, the next invitational. I top 16'd. I was still very bad at the game. So there was like 4 rounds in a row where I think I just needed to like win at least one of them to top 8, and I lost every one of them. I didn't just lose them. I like handed them away. Just like, congratulations on your top 8. Congratulations on your top 8 to like each of my opponents. But then I was just like, wow, I top 16 in open. I can do this. And I started going to every one. And, after a handful of months with no results, I was like, wow, I really got to get better at this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started like playing Magic Online every day and really grinding it out.
Yep, you're just trying to put the more time in to get better. I can dig
Yeah.
that. So you did that. So you mentioned that you're doing it when you were first getting a thing. I know a lot of people, at least people I talk to. Whenever I talk to them about John Whetstone, Burn comes to mind.
Yep.
Is Burn even your favorite deck?
It's actually, so that's hard, right? Like I have a lot of memories with Burn,
Mm-hmm.
and like you never really feel the like adrenaline like you do when you windmill slam a card when you're dead on board and it pans out as you need it to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a lot of fun highs with it, but there's so many lows where it's just like my opponent could have been like doing the worst things every turn. I'm still just dead. Like I just have no choice in the matter. So it
Mhm.
can be real infuriating to drive 20 hours and then lose a win in to an opponent who's just like hee-hawing because Burn does what Burn does.
Yawing.
Burn can be very annoying. I cashed a lot of tournaments with Burn myself, so I know.
And which, like I like the deck. I love the deck, right? I have a lot of fun with it. It's just there's a lot of lows with it. So I do enjoy Death and Taxes probably the most right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think the deck like gives you a lot of play. It does a lot of things I like in Magic, which is attack with bad creatures. And it just every game feels very rewarding, even when I lose. So I've been enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, I never played a lot of Death and Texas myself. I am actually on the fence right now about playing Death and Texas in Legacy for the Maryland event in a few weeks.
Are you gonna play Yorion in your deck?
Bro, I'm not that far into it. I really don't want to make my deck less consistent by playing Yorion, to be honest with you.
I'd be careful, man. You'll probably get in trouble for dissing the Yorion. People are pretty adamant about that card.
If anybody knows me trolling some like die-hard players isn't going to affect me too much.
Right.
Oh my God, is somebody not going to like what I said? Fuck them.
Steven,
What?
If anything, it's more reason for him to play it.
you should give us your explanation on Yorion. You told me plenty.
Look, man,
DM.
I don't want to play it in modern. I'm never gonna say it's good enough in modern because I'm doing fine with the 60 card version. Everybody's doing it in Legacy, so I suppose if I were to play it in Legacy, I would play it. But I'm still not convinced it's 100% the best thing. But maybe it is. Who knows? I mean, literally everyone is doing it. It seems like in Legacy. So I'm not gonna argue. I don't know enough about that format.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to copy and paste JXCloud's list. Then
you're playing Yorion.
Yeah.
You're playing Yorion, bud.
Yeah, I'm going to talk crap about it while I register it, because that's the Larry way of doing things.
So I just copy pasted a legacy list and started playing it recently. I don't know why there's Field of Ruin in my deck. Like it just feels terrible every time. I don't get it. Like
it destroys
maybe
target
if I had,
wastelands.
I don't know. Maybe if I had 20 less cards, I wouldn't have the Field of Ruin. But I also don't know. The next list I copy pasted 60 cards, probably will still have it.
Yeah,
I just don't understand the thing out well enough.
Yeah, I couldn't answer that either. Do you play a lot of Legacy yourself?
No, I want to. I like the format every time I play it, but it feels like I just don't know it well enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of feels like I'm learning Magic again. Kind of just get destroyed. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how their deck operates. Cool.
Yeah, it's so crazy how the game does evolve so much that you could be like, oh, I'm really good at Modern, then something like one set comes out and like it's a whole new format, so you're relearning and you're doing that whole process. It's pretty cool when formats do that, in my opinion. It keeps things fresh. So with that said, I know we're gonna be talking a little bit about the shop, some of your upcoming events and stuff. Do you have any thoughts on if you're going to do any SCG events when they do return? Like the Invitational's coming up, for example, at SCG Con and Halloween weekend. Is that something you're looking to do, or is it because of your schedule now that's not a possibility?
I'm definitely doing the invitational. Like that I'm going to. Depending on how things at the store are, I want to go to at least one open a month when those come back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more. It just depends on how I'm doing, how the shop's doing. But I will definitely be at the invitational. I'm qualified. I might as well go.
Yep.
I'm
As
not
long as they don't
qualified.
cancel it.
Yeah, I'm
You're
not
not qualified?
No, and I'm probably not going to be qualified by then.
Just play some arena. Just play arena, dude.
It's your fault. I'm not playing arena. The weekend I was going to, you scheduled a $170 buy-in tournament that I couldn't turn down.
Oh man,
So
that's funny.
this is your fault.
Dude, double Q, man. Double Q.
Well, the good news is Saturday night while we're all hanging out, maybe he could.
Dude,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
do the
We'll
Friday.
pop
tournament,
open that Grey
then do it.
Goose that you talked
Mhm.
about, and
Yeah.
we'll make Larry play a qualifier.
Exactly. We'll
Just
sit in the
slam a
shop.
6-0.
We'll sit in the shop, drink some Grey Goose, get Larry queued, and not tell SCG we were all helping him.
Yep, easy.
They're like, did they help you? No. Why would they do such a thing?
They were 7 shots in. They weren't helping me at all.
They were
They
passed
were
out.
7 shots in. They couldn't even help themselves.
I know we were trying to talk Dewey into coming, but he's being a hater right now.
I want to. That's like one of the reasons. I was like, no, I have commitments, and then also it's the same weekend I got to jam the Magic, the SCG thing to get queued.
Well, now we have the plan. We're all gonna sit and drink vodka and queue everyone else.
That sounds super tempting.
Bro.
And we're next to a pet store, so we can just look in their windows at all the cute animals.
Yo, we're gonna get drunk and break in the pet store.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that.
No,
Derek.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, that might give you a bad reputation if breaking and doing larceny of pets. They use
Yeah.
that's not what neighborly people are supposed to do. No, but
Do you think we get in extra trouble if we just get arrested while sitting there like petting the animals? Or
hello, officer.
I just have to imagine officers are just like, yeah, this has happened before.
did they go straight for the ferrets? Yeah, okay, that's normal.
Yep, it's understandable. Are you gonna press charges? No, cool. We didn't want the paperwork anyway. Let's dip. Can I also pet the puppy?
Being there, sir. Why do you have a fishing pole in the goldfish tank? I'm trying to catch one.
We had someone bring their ferret into our store last week. It was one of the cutest things. It was just running around on the counter.
That's awesome.
That's awesome that you're very relaxed to let people do that. Some store owners wouldn't do something like that. I think it's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, we asked that the animals are well behaved. But other than that, like bring them in. They're part of society too.
Right.
I agree. I like that. So, Dewey, does that mean if we ever go to John's store for like an event, you're gonna bring Winston?
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Anything that I can bring Winston to, I'm gonna bring him to.
Is Winston your pet?
Yeah, Winston's my dog, man, and he travels with me everywhere I go right now. My company is super cool with me having a dog, and, like bringing him to work. Yeah, if I have to travel to different properties, they're like, no, just bring him. It's fine. We don't care. And I'm like, what if the residents don't care? Residents love dogs. Let's be real, Dewey. You're gonna sell more apartments just by having the dog there, and and then the owner's like, and I want to see the puppy, so you're going to bring him.
You're going to bring him, or just come pack your stuff up.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the HR director was just like, "Where's Winston?" And I'm like, "He's at home." She's like, "That's not acceptable." Okay, that's easily a write-up if I don't see that puppy next time. I'm like,
You should
"Oh."
get him his own paycheck. Get him treats.
Oh,
He
I'm
deserves this many back.
Yeah, this treat's probably just waiting for him anyhow, because like both owners have 2 dogs that they bring into the office all the time. So, company's just cool dogs. And the roaming leasing agent, she has dogs that she brings to every property that she's helping lease up.
That's awesome.
That is super cool. Um, yeah, John. Just so we can transfer the topic a little bit. I'm gonna let Dewey kickstart. There's like a main thing that we wanted to ask you and stuff, but I'll let Dewey lead the way.
Yeah, so I think one of the main things we wanted to kind of touch base on was like the store itself, like what led you from, you know, basically having to fight for food money for playing Magic to getting to the point where you wanted to open up a gaming shop.
So you know that stereotype of every retired like sports person opening a sports bar?
Uh-huh.
Same thing. Same thing. No. It's something that like I've had my hand in for a while, like managing at different stores.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always like, wow, we could be making this much more money if they would just do this. Not saying they were doing anything wrong, right? Like both stores I worked for are great and the owners are great.
No, you can do everything right, but it doesn't mean you're doing everything the most efficient and most effective thing you could be doing.
Yeah, and then my best friend and I were just like, well, let's look at the math and see if we can do it. And the math worked out on paper, so we decided to open up. And that's it. And we chose our hometown because, I no longer have to drive an hour.
Yeah.
But we just know everyone. And our town, like, we love it. It's, a small town in Indiana, but we like it. We've lived here our whole life. So we didn't want to just choose a random city and go.
Yeah, and I think that's what, like that's the hometown advantage. You know the people, you know what they're looking for, you know the market, and I think that's huge. Obviously, there's the Magic component here, but like, what other games are you guys really focusing on?
Yu-Gi-Oh is actually probably our biggest community.
Okay.
We have a lot of people for Yu-Gi-Oh. We're actually running a huge tournament here early September where every 3 players that enter, we're adding a booster box of prizes to the pool because you can't do cash prizes.
Yeah, you can't do
so you
cash
can't do
in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, so it's just $20 entry every 3 players. There's another booster box in the prize pool.
That's
so we're
awesome.
going to be capping out at like 11 booster boxes. So every Yu-Gi-Oh player I've talked to so far has been like, well, that's absurd. Most people don't get close to that. They charge like $10 for a win-a box. And just like, yeah, well, this is kind of
trying to throw more money at you.
Yeah, like this is kind of how Magic players get prizes. Like, why would I not give it to you guys too? Like, it's the same math.
It's so weird to me that like different games can punish the player so much for prize support as we go. We were talking about that with the Secret GP too, where there was like a cover fee, and like Magic players aren't used to having a cover fee to go to events, but other games they're very used to. That's a normal thing.
Wait, there was a cover fee to get in?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
How much was it like?
Okay,
Sorry.
hold on.
How much was it? How much was the cover fee?
Okay, so let's just explain how the event worked. So there was the cover fee was essentially $30 a head. So they did it like a traditional how conventions were ran like back when I was young. So when I was younger, probably like between 10 and 15, whenever there was a TCG convention, you paid an entry fee at the door, and then you had to pay for the additional tournaments. And they did that same concept. Maybe it's outdated, maybe it's not, I don't know. And I think it might be considered outdated because we've had like Grand Prix and Star Cities and things like that that's been spending too long not doing that. So now that's not really something acceptable to a lot of people. I don't mind it mainly because when I first started getting in the games, because back when I did like HeroClix and some TCGs, that's what I did when I was younger. So I was like, oh, it's just like the old days. It's a TCG convention.
Right.
Mention that. I wonder if TCG Con in Toledo has a cover fee. I didn't check it that. But yeah, that's how they did it.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is one.
Wait, so can we backtrack a little bit?
Sure.
You guys paid $30 to walk in that room?
No. It's $30 if you came as like a spectator or just for side events. Ours was included in the main event entry fee.
How much did they get you for on that one?
85.
Oh my god.
Something like that. To be honest, I don't. The whole like talk about it online is very skewed and very negative.
Mhm.
We actually We actually had the TO on the podcast last week.
Did you?
Yeah. And we got to clear up a lot of things that I think a lot of people should listen to that and hear because we asked him all these questions and stuff about.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and re-listen to that.
Yeah, his name is John. We went and talked to him. He's actually planning another event in Atlantic City, which he's not going to do that entry fee because the rent was so much cheaper than what they charged him in New Jersey. He doesn't have to. So
Okay.
he's actually doing one in Atlantic City. So no entry fee required. Just going to have to pay for your events.
Is there gonna be more dope playmats?
So we talked
love
to him
that format.
about that. We said that he should just make that his thing now.
No, I agree. I think he needs to accept it as the brand and go on.
Do you have one of those playmats?
Okay, I might have spent money on those playmats.
Yep.
They got me. You're not alone. They got me too.
Oh, they didn't get us. We have a bunch of playmats we're giving away on Twitter right now.
What? Why did I
Yeah.
spend money? Why did I spend money on this mat?
You can
You could ask.
tell people to follow our Twitter page. All you gotta do is follow and like our Twitter page, and you can win a free playmat. I just shipped out to today to
Mhm.
2 winners.
Dang it. Okay.
We're doing a bunch of giveaways on our Twitter page. People should be following and getting that free stuff.
Man.
Like we're just out here. We're asking people to take our free stuff and so we can give people money. That's all we're asking. Just let us help
give
you.
money. Let us give you food money for the week. It's easy.
Exactly. We don't want you to starve. You could take this box of Innistrad Midnight Hunt that we're giving away next month, and you can turn that into money to buy food.
Exactly.
We're
Not play the game that we're talking about. Kind of loosely talking about. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah. We're talking about everything. This is an interview with John Whetstone. There is nothing that we have to talk about except talk to you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am the reason I'm here. That's good. It's good to
You
know.
are the topic.
That's scary.
That's scary.
I want to go back to talking crap about Yorion.
Hold on. So I wanna interject here for a second. So you're talking about your Yu-Gi-Oh's your best game. Obviously, you do Magic and stuff. Are those the only games you do?
I do Pokemon. We also do board games. We have a board game night every Sunday. We're doing store run D&D sessions. We're just now getting into miniatures. I don't have Warhammer stuff yet, but have a couple other games, and people are getting hyped about that. So
Okay.
I'm already running low on space. So
Yeah. I cannot.
things keep up like this, we'll hopefully be able to get a bigger space in a year or so.
Hey, that's good that you're just getting people and traffic in your door, right? I'm very disappointed. So, as a flesh and blood professional, I find it super disrespectful that you're not doing flesh and blood. And
Listen,
it brings a tear to my eye.
as I sit here talking to you guys, I currently have a display of Blitz decks and a couple booster boxes sitting in front of me on my counter.
Oh snap!
Well, what boxes you got?
I have Arcane. I have Welcome to Wraith and Arcane. What's the purplish one? Arcane something.
Arcane
It's
Rising.
too far away. Yeah, it's too far away for me to grab. So I have them, and people buy the product, but no one wants to play with me. It's weird. Every time someone buys stuff, I'm like, "Hey, do you know how to play?" And they're like, "No." I was like, "Well, I'll teach you." And they're like, "No, it's fine." And then they leave. So
Here's what we're gonna do. I'll come and
I
try
sell
you.
it.
So you sell the product, but they don't want to learn how to play. I'm so confused.
I know.
They just want to spend money. Leave them alone.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna like sit there and like tie them up and like learn how to play Flesh and Blood so I have friends. Like, you know, they're coming by like twice a week to buy packs. Like they're obviously doing something with it, but like
that is so weird. Are you trying to play? Nope.
Like no, I'll just learn with my friends and just like scurry out like they don't want conversation.
You made them
which is
feel
hard.
awkward.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, I like talking to people, especially about games I enjoy, and then they're just
Mhm.
like, no, I just want to get my stuff and not talk.
My
I have a
goal.
guy who comes in. I have a guy who comes in once a week with his AirPods in and won't talk to me, and will just like point at what he wants, and then pay for it and leave. And like, I'll try to talk to him, and he'll just ignore me.
Maybe he doesn't do well with communication, honestly.
Yeah, that's definitely
But
possible. There's a lot of
Yeah,
people like that.
it's
also
just
at the same time, it's like your best customer, right? Like they
He's
don't
buying
want to do
product,
anything.
you know.
Yeah, they just want to come and spend money and leave.
yeah. So like, I'm not upset by it. It's just like I like talking to people. Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
it's a little sad every time they walk out and they don't want to talk to me.
It might be you.
It might be me. You know, when I get my first employee, I'm going to sit all week watching the camera just to see if that person talks to the employee.
If they do, oh my god.
Firing them on the spot.
You're like, get out.
I'm gonna laugh too if he's like just like the nicest guy, super pleasant. It's like, yeah, I just never. John just gave me a weird vibe. I never wanted to talk to
No,
that guy.
the
But yeah,
best
you're
part-
great.
So here's the best part. It's gonna be he's talking to the new worker, just laughing it up. John walks in, stops laughing mid laugh, and just like
Oh,
puts his
no.
earbuds back in. Like, I'm off it. Just he needs to give you like that death scrim, like you shouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, why are you here?
I don't care if you own this store. Why did you walk in? I was having a
Exactly.
good conversation.
Yeah, I was talking to this guy who's not you.
Have you thought about trying to become part of Gem for Flesh and Blood and trying to make a market for your area, or you just don't have the space anyway?
I mean, I wouldn't say I don't have the space. Like, we can only fit 32 players,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I've been so busy getting signed up with Konami and Magic and a couple of like miniatures games that Flesh and Blood's like a super small crowd in our area of people purchasing. So I haven't really put much, and they obviously don't want to play anyways in the store. So I haven't put much thought into like getting into that program yet.
That's fair. Yeah, no, just curious because I know Flesh and Blood seems to be gaining a lot of popularity over these last couple months. It does seem like something a lot of people. I know I've seen a lot of Magic personalities are playing now. It's pretty cool to see, and obviously the
No,
greatest Magic personality and myself. Um, I don't like to toot my own horn or anything. Very humble, very humble.
are you playing Flesh and Blood yet, Steven?
Not a ton.
We
Okay.
played like 2 games. We played a game of Blitz that took him an hour and a half.
I was gonna say like there's so many decisions to make in that game. I don't
Yep.
know how you can ever finish in a timely manner. Like
Me either, dude.
not trying to knock you, just like stay in Magic, man.
I am.
Like-
I am 100% trying to knock you.
Stay in
Like-
Magic, man.
Make the correct plays and everything, and the correct play here is don't play Flesh and Blood. You'll go to time every round.
Yeah, I also just don't want to focus. Like, if I were to play Flesh and Blood, I'd want to be good at Flesh and Blood, and I just don't have time to be good at Flesh and Blood and Magic. You know,
Yeah,
like, I
that's
feel
fair.
like you have to pick. You have to pick which one you want to be like good at.
You can't just
At
be
least
good
with
at
me,
card
I
games.
feel like it'd be that way. I know players
No, I
like
think-
Kowalski or whatever is whooping ass
Yeah,
in Flesh and
Kowalski's
Blood
winning
too. But
nationals, top fouring them over and over again, like the road to national events. And I'm like, dude, I came to Flesh and Blood so I didn't have to play against people like you.
yep,
How dare you enter my game too? You selfish. Can I win at something? Just
can I
something.
win at something?
No, you cannot. The answer is always going to be no.
You're right. No, John, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to make the trip down, and I'll bring Flesh and Blood, and I'll just play Flesh and Blood with you.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
I'll bring
I'm
my
only
Flesh
like
and Blood that weekend.
Okay, I'm only like 5.5 hours away, so it's only a little bit of a drive.
Is it that far?
I don't know, man. It's an hour south Lafayette. How long did it take you to get
Let's see. Happy's Game Store, huh? Let's take a gander for those that didn't know what his game store name was.
Oh man, have we not mentioned that? Have we
I don't
not
think we've
dropped the
mentioned it
name
one
yet?
time.
Oh my gosh.
We just keep saying your store.
Well,
Okay,
to be
well,
fair, that was going to be like a lead-in question, like, tell me what got you started, what games you're doing, name of the store, location, when did it open up officially. But there was a lot of tangents, like a lot of tangents we went on.
that's just what happens when you talk
It's
to me.
4 hours flat, essentially. It's 4 hours flat,
Okay.
so probably like 3.5 once I drive.
Okay. If we have James driving, dude, it'd be 2.5.
You
Easy.
ain't lying,
Right.
bro. And he'll write up his tournament report on the way.
Dude, that event where I lost my keys, like, I'm happy James is a good driver, but I've never had someone drive that fast in a snowstorm.
Dude, James,
Hold on.
James,
Go ahead, Steven.
James driving scares the shit out of me,
Bro,
dude.
Steven had an
Completely honest.
anxiety attack and going to Iowa, I swear.
Yeah, it's because I haven't ridden in James's vehicle in well over a year, and just completely forgot how aggressively that man drives. Man, it's freaking
Alright.
nuts.
So we gotta
Wait,
talk.
you guys are telling me this now? I'm driving to SCG with him.
Yeah, when I saw you volunteer to go with him, I was like, oh, this is gonna be funny.
Yo, dude, my suggestion, just like take some sleep aid, pass out, he'll get you there.
Yeah, just
You
don't.
just, it just won't be pretty.
No, I'm going with him because I have to like work on the way down and back.
Oh no!
So I can't sleep.
Oh man.
Well, the good news is you'll be focused on your work and not on people flipping you off. So
Ask
all
him if
good,
you can
man.
sit in the back seat and just like block
Yep,
out the
that's
windows.
my plan. I'm gonna have backseat, head down, earbuds in, ignore the world.
Oh, you're gonna want to, but we have to do this. I don't know if we did on the last episode, so we're gonna do it again. Tell us the story about the missing keys.
Well, Steven took my keys and won't give them back.
It's
So the
not
end
true.
result is
I took your keys just like Larry took my wallet.
so I drove to Michigan after work one night to get in a car with James and Steven and a few other people to go to SCG Philly. Which at the event started day 2. Like I scrubbed out. I realized I lost my keys, and we just can't find them anywhere. So I play the classic because I need money to get a new key, and I top 16, so I get 2 booster boxes and 4 loose packs. 3 of my 4 loose packs have hitters for rares, so I get to sell those for money, and then I sell the boxes for money, and now enough money for a new key. Only problem is my car is still in Michigan, so we drive. James gets us back in a really good time, but it doesn't matter for me because I don't have a car key. And mind you, there's like 6 inches of snow on the ground, maybe more. And I don't really own pants or shoes, so James is nice enough to let me stay in his house until I get a locksmith there to make me a key. And this old man pulls up, and the whole time he's like talking crap about how I can't believe you're out here in shorts and flip flops, and you're irresponsible enough to lose your keys. I'm like, well, listen. Steven has my keys.
Listen,
I know
old
he
man.
does. But he's grilling me in the way that like he cares about, he just like cares about me as a human.
Almost like
And
a fatherly criticism. Like, hey, dude, put some shoes on. There's snow on the ground, man.
And I'm trying to explain to him like I don't own shoes, right? Like I own flip flops and shorts. And he's like, well, what do you do at work? And I was like, I work at a card store or I play cards. Like none of that requires me to have shoes. And so it was like a big back and forth and just a horrible weekend for the fact I lost my keys and then was stuck in Michigan. I'm sorry. I don't know how you guys live there. Like that was a lot of snow.
Yeah, there's a lot of snow there.
Bro, you think it's bad there? You should see the heat we're dealing with right now. Oh my god, it's been so humid.
This heat wave is killing me.
Bro, I don't like the heat. I went outside today to go in the car. I had to go ship those playmats off. I was gonna be like, man, I don't even feel like it. I don't care if they're gonna call us and say esports.
Man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that like I woke up around like 10:30 ish, and Julia wanted me to like take the cat litter out and stuff, and I got that out of the way at like 10:30, and it was still like really hot then. Like, yeah, I literally did not want to be outside like in the afternoon at all.
How hot has it been up there?
Mid 90s.
Okay.
Mid 90s, and it's humid 90s, so it feels like 100 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds very similar to here. I had our AC in the store set to like 68. So I'm here like early in the morning, like 9 a.m. I don't leave till like 11 p.m. So I get to skip the heat. I just look at everyone come in like just drenching sweat from walking from their car. And I was like, well, it's cold in here, so stay as long as you want, buy stuff.
Yeah, like the heat's just been. I don't like the heat already. I'm a winter person, so
Okay.
this has not been good for me.
Yeah.
Like at all. Like not my idea of a good time. But yeah, I love that story, and I just want to make sure everyone knows that story because it's great. I wish I could have been there.
Sorry. It's also a little like harder because when we were looking for my keys, because for some reason they have the Philly one at that casino,
Yep.
I still had braces, and everywhere I went, I'd get carded. So of course, when we try to go to Lost and Found in the casino, I'm getting stopped by security asking if I'm old enough to be in there and stuff.
Yep.
And so that's also just embarrassing. And then they're like, well, what do your keys look like? And I describe them, and they're like, grab a set of keys. So I get super hopeful, and then the guy's like, oh, wait, these aren't it.
Yeah, I remember that. He's like, "Oh yeah, we probably have those. I think I remember seeing those." They're like, "Oh no."
Yeah. Do you remember how excited I was, man?
Oh, dude, you were so excited. I would have been excited too. To be fair, I don't blame you.
Oh, and also, I was in a huge rush to get home because my grandmother was having a very, like, rough surgery that day,
Mhm.
like, return day. So I was trying to get home to see her first, and then I lost my car keys. So I knew I was going to be, like, cutting it close, and then I got a text, like, hey, they moved her surgery up. So that made things real hard. So I was just like under a lot of stress for that as well as just I was responsible enough to have food money, but not responsible enough to have an extra $200 if I lost my car key. So then I had to cash the classic so I could pay for the car key.
My God.
So, if you didn't cash that classic, what was your route? What was going to be your plan?
I mean, I was probably gonna text my roommate and have him drive up to get me. I was just gonna scrap the car. Like, it was terrible anyways on its last leg, so it just wouldn't be worth the hassle.
Mm-hmm. At least you had a plan.
Yeah, I mean, it was very loose. It was the same plan I had with that car every other time I drove it to an open. If it dies, we're just scrapping it and getting a plane ticket home.
Well, now, if you got the plane ticket, would it all depend if you won the classic, though?
Most weekends I was pretty stable. That particular weekend, I wasn't. So
Was this before or after you spent it all in the casino?
I actually don't. I actually don't gamble at casinos.
We're gonna change.
Not saying I go like up to people and go, "Hey, let's roll dice for money." Like I don't do that either. I just don't really gamble much.
No, that's fair. It's not a good habit. I can't say the same. But that is good self-control. Thankfully, that casino is pretty bad that they hold the event at in Philly. Do you know the story of why they don't hold the events at the convention center?
I actually don't. Ever since I've been grinding SCG, it's been at that casino, and I hate it.
So here's the story about that. The convention center has actually banned TCGs from being played at their convention center because they had a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament that got the players were destroyed it so bad that there was so many damages from just the player base they don't allow TCGs anymore.
My
Are you kidding
God.
me?
Yeah, I've heard it from so many different sources, and I
That's
was like,
crazy.
I've heard it from vendors, I've heard it from players, I've heard it from judges, and I was like, well, that's a thing. I was like, I do hear like I don't know like in Lansing, Yu-Gi-Oh is probably more popular at the store, local store than Magic is, similar to what you were saying for your store, and they say Magic Yu-Gi-Oh players are like the most toxic, but I haven't seen it yet. But
No,
I interact with Magic players. I think Magic players are the most toxic personally.
my Yu-Gi-Oh crowd here is amazing.
Yeah.
Like
I don't go to
they
the big tournaments, so I obviously can't talk and too much on that. But
they just love the game and want to teach more people the game. So if
hmm
someone comes with like a bad deck, they don't like just beat up on the person. They'll be nice and be like, "Hey, do you want to like learn a little bit more, like how your deck can be a little better?" And then they'll like talk about it if the person wants. But the person's like, "No, I just want to play and have fun. I just want to play Blue Eyes and go." Like
Good old
they'll
Blue
be
Eyes
cool.
White Dragon.
They'll be cool about it, right? And like let them do their thing and whatnot.
hmm
So the guys here are great.
That's awesome. Yeah, you don't get to see that too much. I know Magic, it can be like that, but it's far in between. Um, I've been going to a lot of Flesh and Blood things lately, and they're kind of like that too, where they're just like very like supportive with each other. I haven't found the toxic on Flesh and Blood players yet. I'm sure they're out there. I can't wait to interact with them.
Yeah,
Um,
I just feel so old now where like if anyone's even slightly toxic in a game, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not playing with you. Like if there's money on the line, I'll finish the match, but like I won't interact with them or anything.
yep.
Like I played a D&T Mirror of Sorts recently
Mhm.
that my opponent just you could tell had never played the mirror. So the game was virtually over on turn 4, but it was gonna be another like 30-minute slugfest. And my opponent was just complaining the whole time about how my deck was misbuilt, and just because I was playing Charming Prince and Yorion, I was able to win, and that's the only reason he lost. And I was like, man, like you got yourself blown out on turn 5, but like, I'm not even gonna sit here and try to like talk to you. Like you're just being a jerk.
Oh yeah, I've had people do that and stuff. I think my favorite is I was playing Dredge and I was up against a deck. I forget what they were playing, but they played Rest in Peace. They had it and I blew it up and he was like so angry. He's like, you don't ever win this if you don't have that piece of hate like to remove my Rest in Peace." And I'm like, yeah, that is usually how that works. Like I don't really know what the hell you're trying to say. I don't understand the argument. Yes, I had a cyborg card for your cyborg card. Rats. Like, I don't know. I never understood that logic. Like, why be so angry? Like, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get these people through these hard times, my friend. Oh, you gotta love it. I know, over the weekend we got to experience somebody that won the no sir to splits. It was nice. Um,
That's how it should go every time,
yeah,
unless someone needs food money. Then you do the splits.
unless they need food money. That's how I'm gonna start. They're like, we're gonna determine split. I was like, who's hungry? Anybody
Good
hungry?
lord.
No, no, it's who needs food money? Does anybody need food money? No?
Yeah.
Okay, we can go like normal.
Does this top 8? Does this amount of money equal you paying your bills? Yeah. Okay, I'll split. I've been there. I'll split. Other than that, I no sir it.
That's funny.
That is. Yeah, that's food money is all that matters. But yeah, let's. I know we're having fun and all, but let's talk about a little bit about your store. Let's talk about the event you got coming up. Um, I know you made a poll about this on Twitter, I believe it was, and you were asking people about if anybody would be interested in like a high rollers kind of event. Would these people come out if there was like a higher tax on the entry fee, but the payout was higher for the limited number of players that your store can hold, essentially? So
Yeah.
go ahead.
So it started with a joke where Colton and I were talking because we have a set of power in the store,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, we're never gonna sell this in the store, right? But we're also not like too big of a rush to sell it online because like I'm not wanting to ship a Black Lotus, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more likely to drive it to whoever purchased it. But so we're like, well, let's do the math. And, we're like, okay, if we get like $2,000 a person to play, we could give away a set of power for a 32-person tournament. So we just made it as a joke poll. And there was a good number of people who are like, oh, well, if it was sub $200 and for cash, I would play it. So we were messing around with the idea. We posted that too. I got a good amount of people in my DMs asking about it, being like, is this serious, this thing? Like, I'll do it if it's a thing. So here we are. We have our $175 entry scaling prizes. If we hit 32 players, we're at a 5K. Worth of cash to top 8. So, like a higher price tag, but way more prizes for like a small tournament too.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just love that idea because it's like its own little paid mini players championship that people like fight so hard to be in this small group of players that get such a good prize pool for them. So it's super cool to me.
Yeah, and I'm liking the idea more and more because it's just by seeing the people who are messaging being like, hey, I kind of want to do this. I know they are like a caliber of player who is going to be there to game, right? And they're not going to walk away. Like, they're going to walk away mad at themselves for not doing well and not mad at Magic, right? Whereas when you have these $30 IQs, you do get people who probably shouldn't be signing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Signing up, and then they just feel terrible afterwards for a completely different reason. Not because they lost money, but because they're just like, oh, well, this game sucks. Like, I shouldn't do this ever. Where when the people pay $175, they know I'm here to game, and it's all on me whether I do well or not. It's not the game's problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true.
So I'm super excited for that part of it.
The reason I'm most excited, I think it's a good chance to play at top level competition, which I'm a very like competitive person, so I like being able to play with. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the events where I can just like do a little 1K and I can like coast by too because winning's fun and all. But it gets to a point where you also want to be playing against really good players, especially if you want to go and you want to start doing well on one of these circuits. You want to be able to get experience against those higher tier players or like very well off players when it comes to play skill. And that's the reason I thought it was cool. And plus, I like the big money tournaments anyway. The only thing I would suggest, hear me on this, you don't have to make it official. Should be winner takes all.
Should be winner. Well, that was another one of my polls.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that one? Yeah. I actually asked, would you play in a tournament where winner takes everything? Because I know I would, right? If there was a 1K where it was just winner takes all, I would do it.
I mean, how much different is it actually than a PTQ, right? I mean, it's not that much different, honestly.
Exactly. But the amount of people that said no was just like overwhelming.
It's fair.
I was just like, I don't understand. Like, if you're playing,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I probably wouldn't pay $175 to play in a tournament where winner takes all, but I would certainly pay like a normal entry fee for that.
But like, if all was $10,000, and
that's
you believe,
true. Never mind. No, I'd still do it.
Yeah, and I was saying, you believe you're the caliber of player who can win. Like, you shouldn't be going to the event if you don't believe you can be the caliber of player to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least from a like competitive side. If you're going to see your friends or just to travel or just enjoy the experience, I get it, 100%. I went to many opens where I was just like, I'm here just to see people. But like, I think an event with that kind of entry where it's winner takes all, you don't enter not expecting to win.
True.
Yeah, you have to go in there with that mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I just looked. It looks like 72.5% said no. Yep.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like that other percentage group, they still possibly would do something, and you can find another group of them that's willing to do it, and then they can have their own tournament that is structured that way.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm planning on doing some tournaments like that. Maybe not $175 entry. I would much rather just do like $20 entry, winner takes all. I think that's much more appealing to like a vast majority of people. And at that point, you're still just playing. Because with 32 players, you're only playing like what, 5 rounds of Swiss? Correct me if I'm wrong. Will they cut to top 8?
Yeah, I think that's 5.
Yep.
Because it goes 16 makes it 5. And then you usually have to add another 17 to that. So yeah, it should be 5.
Yeah, then you yeah, so you're only playing like when you win, you're playing 8 rounds of Magic for like a big paycheck, right? So I think that's fine.
Uh-huh.
No, I think yourself. Obviously, I'm going to be taking part. Steve is going to be taking part. Dewey's a hater, so he won't. Um, but no, we're probably just going to come down on that Friday morning. It's like a 4-hour drive, and I think that's the most reasonable. And we're going to come to have a good time. Like,
Yeah, I can show you the grand city of Crawfordsville.
oh, we're going to get the tour from the official tour guide.
Exactly. I'll get a hat and everything. That says
Like,
tour guide.
We can come that Friday. We could do some SCG events. Be a good time.
Get you qualified.
Yeah. I really
Do you have
would
an
be sad.
arena account?
Yeah. Oh, I have a ton of cards on Arena, man. I played a lot of Arena. But I won't be sad. They're doing Flesh and Blood side events at SCG Con.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Wait. So they've announced that they're doing Flesh and Blood side events.
So let me just go through explain it a little bit better. So how they announced Star City's selling Flesh and Blood product now, right?
Oh, I knew that.
And somebody posts on there, and they were like, "Hey, are you gonna do any Flesh and Blood side events at SCG Con?" And Star City responded like, "Yes, we are." And I was like, "Ooh, that's cool."
Well, do you think we can get SCG to start doing goat control format at SCG Con?
Start doing what?
Goat format for Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't think they'll ever do Yu-Gi-Oh, man.
Dude, it's different. It's
It
Yu-Gi-Oh,
is
but
different.
I'm just saying, if you're listening, whoever makes the decisions at SCG, give us a goat tournament.
I just want them to. I think I would not be shocked if they start doing some Flesh and Blood. Like, I think Flesh and Blood would be sweet to have some start. Like even I think Dewey, was it you earlier that was saying that you wouldn't be shocked to see some stuff on Sundays? Was that you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that was me, but I definitely could see that happening.
Yeah, maybe it was Jason. I forgot who we were speaking to. They're talking about wouldn't be shocked like see like a classic style event on Sundays for Flesh and Blood. The test.
I'm just gonna be a little upset if PC race. It's Flesh and Blood points count as well, and it's a split Flesh and Blood Magic format. Like I'd be a little upset. I like both games, but that'd be a little much.
Yeah, okay, hear me out. I was coming up with an idea for a team constructed TCG tournament. 3-person tournament. 1 seat is Magic, 1 seat is Flesh and Blood, 1 seat's Pokemon.
I'd play it. You're right.
That'd be really cool.
Like, and we don't even have to include Pokemon. They could be dead to us. We could say Yu-Gi-Oh instead for you.
You can't do Yu-Gi-Oh.
You can't?
No, because you can't do cash prizes.
It don't have to be cash prizes. Well, I guess it would probably be hard to get somebody to want to come to this tournament.
It kind of needs to be cash prizes.
You're right.
We're spoiled as Magic players.
You're right. Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh, you're back to being dead to us. Pokemon, you made it back. We never stopped loving you.
We could bring back Argent Saga.
Oh my god. Oh man. Ooh, just sticking the knife to them, I suppose.
Or Light Seekers. We could do Light Seekers.
Light Seekers, Force of Will. There's a lot of games that we can target.
Yo, Force of Will is not dead, man. It's
Okay.
not dead.
Okay, man.
There's a set coming. There's a set coming out tomorrow, and I have a bunch of pre-orders for it. Don't say it's dead,
Okay.
please.
Oh my god, he's gonna shoot me through the phone. He's gonna be like, "How dare you? We are gonna fight when you come down here now." The winner.
Yeah,
gets-
you're you're gonna see all these Force of Will players at the store.
I'm gonna
And I'm
turn
gonna be like,
around,
"See,
and he's gonna be like, "Get him!"
I canceled your event. More Force of Will."
More Force of Will. I was like, "No, I brought the Magic Force of Wills though. Don't know why." But yeah, do you have any other special events you got planned for any other game that you want to talk about?
We already mentioned the Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's about it, honestly.
Okay.
We're keeping everything else small, like our D&D stuff. We're writing a world where our store DMs can just post up like, "Hey, we're running a level 2 adventures session this Tuesday," and then take all level 2 players and play within the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then how that party, what they do affects the world at large, that all the other players are also in. So we're working on that, and that's been a huge
God, that
commitment,
sounds like such a fun concept.
Yeah, it's been real hard to iron out, but I think we're getting close. Because,
Awesome.
as the years go on, we'll have new people who are all level 1, but we'll also have groups that have played a lot and are like level 12 or whatever.
Yeah, and they're gonna be the ones creating the lore that the level 1 players now get to interact with, and they're like the legendary heroes that have saved the town a decade ago.
Exactly. But because we have like approved DMs that we're working with, it's not like just some random dude can just run a session and tear up our world. Like, they know the boundaries that we expect out of them.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be obviously the most difficult part, and you've already got that hammered out.
So I'm excited. Like, I'm hopefully going to be able to play D&D again. I haven't got to do that in a while.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet. I never played D&D in my life, so I don't know anything about it.
You are missing out.
I've heard that I'd have a lot of fun doing it, but I never had friends that were really into D&D, so that's why I've never done it.
Well, I think getting you, Steven, and James to play in a party together would be a train wreck. I would want to see it. So if you want to make money off something
If that happens, record it. I need that. It has to exist.
Oh my god, we'll lie to James and tell him we're going to a Pioneer tournament, and they'll be like, "We're here to play D&D."
Oh
Yeah,
my!
you guys you drive up to a convention center and go into one of those small conference rooms, just lock them in and be like, "Sit down, you're playing."
Yo, should we tell James that he's locked in this tournament for the tournament that we're all going to at your store?
Just to ambush him with D&D.
Yes.
I'm down.
But yeah, I did appreciate you coming on the show. I know we're running a little long. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you worked all day long. It's always enjoyable to talk to our boy John, of course. You know, it's been a while since I know we seen you back when we did the team tournament that me and Dewey cashed.
Oh yeah, did you guys top 16 that, right?
Yeah, we got 16th exactly, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Knocking out someone.
This is true.
Someone in here.
They did not actually play my team. I'm just
We
gonna
did knock you
put
out.
that out there
though.
to those listening.
That is actually
yeah.
not accurate. We did knock you out, technically. That's how it works, but we didn't play you.
Yeah.
That is true, too. But we did technically knock you out because we had better tiebreakers.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's not usually how I'd word it, but that's fine.
Well, that's how it works,
Yeah.
but...
There was
Yeah, I don't agree with that phrasing is what I'm saying, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
There were some issues that I would like to not get into that happened
Mm-hmm.
that caused certain teams to get bubbled.
Yeah.
In plural.
That's
But
the nature of, like, the tournaments, though, you know. Sometimes calls are wrong.
yeah, and software isn't correct.
Yeah.
But download the companion app. Like, it's good.
Yep, download the companion app or run it through Melee now.
Yeah, that's what NRG is doing. They're using MTG Melee for their tournaments. They're not even going to use the companion app.
See, the problem is like, as a store, if you want to get credit for tournaments, which decides your promo allocation and your product allocation,
Mm-hmm.
you have to run it through the companion app.
Yep.
There's still like freezes and stuff on that because COVID, but like when things go back into the swing of stuff, they're gonna have to use the companion app.
Yeah, I
So
think they still use the companion app for their F&Ms and in-store play, but for their big tournaments they're using Melee because companion app's not made to hold that many players yet.
oh no, it was miserable. Like you guys saw the issues we had.
Oh yeah.
Like I do think it's gonna be a good thing once it all gets ironed out.
Yep.
But the growing pains were very evident,
Oh yeah, there's
and that
definitely
was
growing pains.
yeah.
We've had a whole Monday Night Modern event get canceled after round one because it froze and crashed and couldn't like handle anything. Like it was wild.
I had to repair an F&M 3 times because people wouldn't get in the event correctly, and you couldn't add them late.
Mm.
I believe they fixed that now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but that was like early on. But it was just it was just so infuriating to repair like 3 times after getting everyone sat down. Then I had some come to me like, "Oh, I didn't hear you say you need us to re-enter."
Oh, that would be very frustrating.
Yeah,
Very, very frustrating. But yeah,
almost like Steven stealing your keys. Frustrating.
Yeah.
he does be stealing keys. That is the life he lives.
Even after sharing Dairy Queen, it just wasn't enough.
Not enough. He's like, I'm taking it all. But yeah, I do think we did this last time, but I'm gonna have us do it again. So John, tell
Huh.
us if we had to make a Mount Rushmore of cards that you think are the best, your favorites or whatnot. This is your time to be as biased as you want towards your favorites. What 4 cards would you put on there?
Okay, we actually did not do this last time, or else I'd be a little bit more prepared, I think. Um,
Nice.
Gotta put Goblin Guide. He's won me the most money.
Okay.
Probably followed by Hazaret, Thraven Inspector. Is there 4 or 5 that have a name here? I
4.
don't even know.
4.
4. Thank you. My favorite card that got me into Magic, Title Kraken. That's what got me in when I was super casual.
Okay. Okay.
You know what that one is? That Arcadian Mask Bomb.
No, not even a little bit.
5 blue, 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 6/6 unblockable.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh. Oh.
Card was insane at the lunchroom in high school.
You're right, fam. You're right. Insane in the membrane. uh, guarantee you might be the only one that has that on your Mount Rushmore. I can check
I
the
mean,
notes.
people be sleeping on it.
They
I'm
do.
just saying.
They do indeed be sleeping on the good stuff. Well, John, where can everybody reach you on social media? Do you use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
You can reach me on Facebook, but that's mainly just for business stuff. Just Twitter is the best thing.
So follow you. Are you just under John?
I believe it's John P. Whetstone. I actually don't plug my Twitter like ever, so I don't know. And then Happy's Game Store also on Twitter. It's a picture of your cute dog. So
Oh yeah. I remember when I first got the thing about Happy's Game Store on Facebook. I was like, "Who the hell is this?"
that my store, and that's my fictional dog. I don't even own a dog named Happy. Like I've been trying to get a Shiba in here for commercial sake, but I can't find any that are like people. I've had 2 that I've been introduced to, and they don't like people, so I really don't want to have a commercial with them. So if any of you guys know anyone with a Shiba that wants to be the face of my store, let me know.
If I come across one, I got you. And I can confirm it is John P. Whetstone.
Awesome.
Yep. So definitely give him a follow. He definitely want to go ahead and give Happy's game store. I was gonna call it Play Store. Like you're an app. I would definitely. I'm gonna even have. We're even gonna share Happy's game store right on the Swish Gaming Twitter page too. Shared love. We're gonna share the thing about the 32-person modern event. If you are listening and you like modern and you like high-level tournaments, come out for that. It's gonna be a good time. It's
It
4 hours from
really
us.
is.
Easy drive.
Absolutely.
Like, it's gonna be a good time. But again, we thank you, John, for coming on. Apologize if we might have ran a little long. I know you're probably super tired because you be working all the time.
It's fine. Thank you for having me on.
Oh,
I
no.
really had fun. I miss you guys. So
Yeah, we'll have to get
See
together
you soon,
more
man.
this time.
Thank you so much for being on with us.
Yep.
yeah, thank you.
Not a problem. Until next time, to our listeners, this has been Larry, Steven, and Dewey. This has been Talking Swish with John, and we will catch you guys later.